can I give you my number, instead of can I get your number. Some people may think no, women want you to make the first move. That is making the first move. Where do people think the bar for move is set? I'm an E4 first move guy myself. C5. I do find a guy giving me his number more respectful. It also allows me to push against my anxiety that makes me want to say no to any interest. Being put on the spot triggers it. Giving a number puts the ball solely in the woman's court. It also gives us an easy out if we are not interested. It is not a magical act that will make panties drop. Being given a number with no chemistry means it'll be thrown away. // Being given a number with no chemistry means it'll be thrown away. And this is a success from the giver. If you don't want it, it's expected you would say no. If you don't say no, despite not wanting it, then you feel uncomfortable saying no, which would mean you'd feel uncomfortable getting called. It's kind of weird. If you're a guy giving your number in this fashion, the most successful the tactic can be is when the number is thrown away. That means your concession did its job. You gave her the out, and she got to use it. I mean, you might think her saying yes and calling you is a success. But in that case she wants to talk to you, and she would probably give you her number and look forward to your call anyways. If you did it the other way, this is nothing special. But if she throws the number away, you've just saved her some stress that you'd otherwise force her through, either through requiring a rejection or anxiety over an unwanted call. I can attest for this method as well. I use it myself. First time I used it, I was told she had a boyfriend, but that was a really nice way of asking, and I should do that more. And the second time I tried it on a really pretty worker, she said I'd love to take your number. I used to do this when I was dating, and also have given this same advice to friends, and on Reddit had her with a fair amount of backlash. I don't understand what's so controversial about it. Either a person is interested enough to text you or they're not. What I like about this method is that I know if she texts me then there's at the very least some sort of interest or curiosity, whereas if I get a number, and even if she texts back, I'm still not entirely sure if she's just being polite or trying not to hurt my feelings. It helps as well if you preface the offering of your number with something along the lines of "you seem really cool and you should text me if you'd like to go on a date / hangout / meet again sometime." That way, if they do text you, then it's fairly reasonable to assume that they intend to kick it after that. Not saying it works every time, but it certainly works for me. The opposition is in the psychology. 100% of the women who contact you with this method are interested in some level, as are about 60% of the ones who never get up the courage. Both numbers are ultimately so small that it shouldn't matter statistically either way until you're giving your number out thousands of times a week. And at that point, your dating card is permanently full, so you have vastly different complaints, and perhaps a greater understanding of what women suffer sifting through their options. Yeah. That's kinda like assuming the woman on the bus with the headphones on / reading the book / working on her laptop is actually really interested in talking to you. She's just too shy. It's always better, and it's a very subtle way of showing a woman that you respect, that it's not always easy being a woman who is getting approached. And yeah, when guys started doing the "I'll leave you a missed call right now," I had some awkward moments. After giving out a fake number, I had to pretend I was ditzy enough to not remember my number on Mayo. Oh, I have a fun story about this one. Was approached at an empty bus station at 5 AM. Guy asks for my number. I feel very uncomfortable because I'm cornered and alone with him, and give him a fake number because I figured he'd leave me alone after it. Well, he called me to see if I have him the right one. My phone didn't ring, and I lied and said it was dead. He told me to press the power button while having me pressed up against the wall, so I did. And of course, my lock screen flashes up. He then requests I give him my actual number, which this time I did. He called it. My phone rang. He told me he'd call me later, and decided we needed a goodbye kiss and forced me to kiss him while feeling me up. Oh, and I forgot about the best part. I was 16. He knew this, and this guy was early 40s at least. He did call and text me later asking me out. I blocked him and cried to myself, "I'm so sorry this happened to you." I think we are really failing young people in society when we all have their pedophilic stories from when we were younger, but it's clearly happening still. And even easier now with social media and stuff. Ugh. I like it. As a woman, asking can I have your number gives me a twinge of anxiety and makes me feel put on the spot. No, it doesn't feel good to have to reject a man, a person. That said, if we went on a date and we really had nothing in common or of interest and he asked me if I feel like a second date, I have said no. I mean, what else are ya gonna do? Lie then play games and avoid his calls? Imo. It is best not to waste the other person's time. I think it is the respectful thing to do. To be honest, it is what I would want for myself. As far as becoming violent, I guess you have to read the room. If he has aggressive tendencies, then reject him from afar, via text, then I would block him for fear of retaliation. You're killing your success rate by doing that. Most time they will not text you. Success rate man. The point flew right over your head. Imagine a 21-year-old boy thinking he figured it all out. You need to be in control, that's why you try to get a number. I 100% approve this message. I don't like to lie, and I'm not good on the spot. If you ask me for my number and I don't want to give it, I will panic inside. I don't want to reject you on the spot, but I don't want to lie and give you a fake number. Especially B/C, it is so common for someone to say I'll call/text you right now, so you have my number. I also don't want to lie and say I have a boyfriend when I don't. I could give you my Google Voice number, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So yes, please offer your number instead, so we can accept and move on. If I'm interested, I will totally take the initiative and text you later to say hi. I also think that the safety issue prompts many women to shut down something automatically without actually considering it. Being given the space and time to consider in a space place is useful. It's also a great green flag that this dude respects boundaries. Just offer your number. If she doesn't want it, walk away. If she does, say hi. This isn't that complicated and doesn't need to be dramatic like some make it out to be. I want to spend energy on people interested in spending time with me and vice versa. Your advice as to why and how it all works is helpful for those who don't get it though. Close bracket. This is how I met my wife. We met in a museum. Seemed to hit it off. When I had to leave I gave her my phone number. A week later she called me and we met again. Giving her my number helped show I was interested and wanted to meet again, but left the decision in her hands. She'd call if she was interested. Win-win. Why would I want to bother someone who's not interested in me? This really should be normalized. Good stuff, op. Thanks for your Reddit. I went to a club in college, was not for me, and a guy asked me for my number. I gave him a fake number because he was aggressive, making me feel uncomfortable, and I wanted him to leave me alone without risking a bad reaction to rejection. When he then said, okay, now pull out your phone, I'm going to see if you gave me a real number, and I was so scared. I can't remember how I got out of that situation, but I will never forget how scary it was for a young me. Did not go to a club after that. This has a 0% success rate, based on my experience of trying this exactly once. Maybe give it another try. That was long ago. No need to try these days. Thankfully. Why care about success rate when she's not into you? 100% agree with this. When a guy slips me his number on a business card or torn off piece of paper, it comes off way more mysterious and less creepy. Also for dudes, and dating in general, you don't make anyone do anything. You don't do things to make her text back, or make her go out with you, or make her like you. The best you can do is find a connection, then offer opportunities to further deepen that connection through shared activities. I'm really responding to this post to remind myself and reinforce these very ideas I mentioned to myself. It gets stupid hard when you meet and date someone with strong potential and you're full of oxytocin and excitement. After putting up with pandemic isolation, this is a big one for me. I made many girls uncomfortable over the last year because I did things to try to make her like me. Very wise for 21. This should be the norm. I like men making the first move. But if a guy did this with me, I'd immediately be impressed. It shows emotional intelligence. Understanding that we are strangers, and that I may feel put on the spot giving my number, and signals that this is a guy that respects boundaries, and probably won't pressure me in other ways. One of the biggest issues with approaching women in public, is that as women, we are on the defense when we are out. This gives the woman the power. However, the guy is still making the first move. He chats with you, and then makes his intentions known by giving you his number. But he leaves the ball in your court for you to decide if you want to continue the conversation. He can still formally ask you out later, after getting to know each other a bit more, after she contacts you. Classy move. Very gentlemanly. I love it. Not sure why you are getting so many downvotes / hateful comments. I 100% hate getting asked for my number and put on the spot. Much prefer he gives me his, so I can throw it away after he walks away. That's why it's terrible advice. Because you were going to have so much success with a woman who wants to throw away your number anyways. Welp. It's easy to play spot the creepers in this thread. Also, girls are too shy is absolute BS. Nah, she just didn't like you. Move on and don't force the issues. This is not a Hollywood movie. Stop taking all that nonsense as actual advice. Chasing or winning someone over is akin, if not actual stalking. Forcing someone to give you their number and calling it is pure shattery. Not to mention a stupid move. Block City is where you're going. Stop putting women on the spot. Who wants to interact with someone that makes them uncomfortable? It's so gross. How about listening to all the women in this post telling you not to do it that way, and that acting respectful and doing how Op suggested may very well get you further? All the simping Reddit seems to cry about sounds like immature little boy talk. How about trying to act respectful? Stop acting desperate and play it cool. All that other crap just pushes women away. This is actually really solid advice. Well done. Anyone who is making a counterpoint to this is an idiot. If she is interested in you, she will take your number and she will text you. If she isn't, then you don't need her number at all. I spent $40 on personalized business cards for the sole purpose of being able to hand them to a girl without the pressure of asking their number. So far I haven't gathered up the courage to actually hand any out. Baby steps, right? I say, do you want exchange numbers? I feel like it's a little too formal though. It's fun talking to you. Here's my number. If you're comfortable, feel free to use it. If not, no hard feelings. You are welcome.